As relates to treatment and the goal of treatment is for that patient or person to achieve viral suppression. So I know there's viral suppression and there is undetectable viral load. Can they be used interchangeably or are they two different?
Okay, so let us explain what is viral suppression,
Okay.
what is viral load, and that sort of thing. So when we talk about viral load, we talk about the amount of viruses that is inside one's body. And then we talk about viral suppression now, is that when the amount is the level at which we expect the virus supposed to be at in order for you to maintain a healthy body, have a healthy body, in that, so it is marked by 1,000. So once you're at 1,000 and over, you can say that you are virally unsuppressed. If you are below 1,000, you say you are virally suppressed, right? And then that goes right down to the point where it can be undetectable in your blood. That means the virus is there, but it cannot be, when you pull the blood, when you actually pull a sample of blood from you, there is no virus in that particular sample.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you are cured of HIV. No. HIV is still there in your body, but it is not at a point where you can get sick or to cause any harm to your bodily organs. All right.
So if you were to do if you're HIV positive and you have achieved viral suppression, if you were to take an HIV test, you'll still be HIV positive, even though you're suppressed.
Even though you're suppressed,
and
right.
HIV levels are very low. All right. So
yes, I would say the goal of because remember the goal of HIV treatment is to ensure that you live a long, healthy life. Remember the days, if you can remember the days when persons were dying from HIV because lack of treatment and all of that sort of stuff. Now that we have the medication, now people can live healthy and live longer and have the virus suppressed in their bodies for over a long period of time, as long as they take the medication.
Okay. And with the achievement of viral suppression, it's very unlikely that you can pass on the virus to your partner, right? However, that doesn't mean that your partner doesn't wear his or her condom. So even though the HIV positive partner wears the condom, even though the HIV positive partner is very suppressed, that is, HIV levels are extremely low, the HIV negative person still has to continue wearing condoms for protection, and not only for protection against HIV, but for protection against other sexually transmitted infections as well, because chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, they still all exist. For the person who is HIV negative, there is what is called a pre-exposure prophylaxis that is required of them to take when they're in a relationship with a person who is HIV positive. Can you speak to
Okay,
that?
so what is pre-exposure prophylaxis now? Now what happens is that you have partners who are negative and they're in a discordant relationship now. So the mother is positive, the man is negative, right?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around.
Yes.
But what happens is that what has happened is that over the period of time that HIV has been discovered and research has been ongoing and all of that, and we see where the need arises that you have persons who want to maintain a relationship but do not, but there is an opportunity where they can live in a discordant relationship but they do not become positive. So the prophylaxis comes into play at a point where that the partner who is negative can stay negative once he's taking the medication, which is a pre-exposure prophylaxis. Okay.
So one of my first questions regarding the pre-exposure prophylaxis, for the HIV negative person who is with his or her HIV positive partner, where the HIV positive partner achieves viral suppression, is it still encouraged for that person the HIV negative person to continue taking the PrEP?
Okay, so what happens is that, remember, when a person has achieved an undetectable level of the HIV virus in the system, things can happen to that individual, to that woman, or the male, depending on who is positive in a discordant relationship, that can cause a viral load to increase. So it can be some stress factor, a death in the family, a bout of illness like the flu. It could be they've been diagnosed with diabetes, or some form of cancer, even COVID.
Yes.
It can cause that stress that impacts the body can actually cause viral load to actually go up. So you have to look at factors that can affect the body in the process. So once the viral load goes up, there's likely that there will be some transmission at some point. So when the negative partner is on the PrEP, it prevents him or her from becoming infected with HIV. Right? So they take the PrEP on a daily basis just to ensure that their level of immunity or immunity, you call it immunity, or resistance, then resistance.
It will be the immunity towards
towards HIV is maintained.
Okay then. All right then. So even though the HIV positive partner achieves viral suppression, the HIV negative partner still has to continue taking his or her PrEP.
His PrEP, right.
Right.
To ensure that he does not become positive.
I saw where that there was a number of days, specifically 20 days, where it is seen, especially more so for women who are receiving penetrative vaginal sexual intercourse, that up to day 20 of taking the pre-exposure prophylaxis, that they reach a very high level of protection against HIV. Do you know anything about that number?
We know that in the USA, you have a program where PrEP is issued to persons who are in discordant relationships, right? So you have a situation where for couples who are taking the PrEP on a daily basis, what they're saying is that once your desires of having sex without using a condom now, right? In a case where you are possibly in a space where you can be exposed to the virus, right? So what you do now is take the PrEP for 20 days. That will build up your level of protection against the of becoming infected. But also it means that when you reach that peak, you have to still continue to take the medication, the PrEP, on a daily basis to maintain the level. Because if you have to stop taking the PrEP, you're going to go right back down and leave yourself exposed to becoming infected. So the idea of the 20-day issue is that you have to take it up to that level. You have some persons might require you to take it even much more days, but the estimated time is 20 days. It can be a little bit more, or it can be a little less, depending on the individual. But for the most part, it's that the 20-day level. It means that it's just a general rule of law in terms of the level of protection that you can achieve, and then you maintain it on a daily basis now by taking the PrEP.
All right then. In terms of accessibility to PrEP, where can persons who are in a discordant relationship here in Jamaica, where can they get PrEP?
Well, the conversation has already started in this country, in Jamaica, but as to say on a broad scale level, I don't think it has actually reached to everyone, right? But we know that the conversation has started regarding PrEP, and I guess as time goes on now, the public will know exactly where it can be accessed.
So as it stands now, where, even though there are conversations for the future, where do they get PrEP now? Can they go to the health center? and speak to the health nurse and
Well,
it's available there?
I think they can go to the health center and speak to somebody, so and they will be advised as to how they can access it.
Okay, so no matter of going to a health professional and a prescription is written and they
It's a
get it at the
prescription drug.
Yes.
For us now. To be a prescription drug. It will be something that is just given out like that. Because you know HIV drugs are very toxic to the body.
Yes.
They're not just anything like a Panadol or something like that. It's a very toxic drug, so it has to be given under certain conditions. And so you have to seek it as a health professional, and they will be able to give you the best advice possible.
We discussed daily PrEP. There's something known as on-demand PrEP. Can you speak to that?
Okay, so the on-demand PrEP now is a situation for those persons who are visiting relationships. You know, so it's done in a situation. If you plan to spend a weekend with your partner, you will, there's going to be, for that period, you're going to stay with that person. You're going to take the medication at least 2 days before you actually see the individual. And then you take it daily and even after you have left that location where you're going to,
yes,
then you still take it for 2 more days after that to ensure that you have that level of protection. Protection inside in your body.
Okay.